So, all the young people out there, I'm sure you have a plan for the weekend, you have a plan for your week. Do you have a plan for your life?
For people nowadays, self love means बाहर जाके पार्टी करना है, दारू पीना है, स्मोक करना है, फ्रेंड्स के साथ चिल करना है. I think people have started taking those signs as self love. I don't know if people are really happy, if they are pretending to be happy. I just feel that everyone here I see, my friends, people around me are just lost. Do you think a lot of people are quitting job because there's a trend in the market? अच्छा, जॉब क्विट करेंगे तो हम लोग थोड़े अच्छे लगेंगे. जॉब क्विट करके हम लोग ने अपना काम स्टार्ट किया है एंड ये ट्रेंड है बिकॉज एवरीवन इज़ डूइंग इट, और मेरे को भी फ्रीलांसर बनना है एंड मेरे को भी ये करना है. आई डोंट थिंक सो. पीपल आर टेकिंग द राइट स्टेप विद द राइट माइंड सेट. दे आर जस्ट टेकिंग दैट स्टेप बिकॉज देयर इज अ ट्रेंड इन द मार्केट एंड दे थिंक दैट इज अ काइंड ऑफ सेल्फ लव फॉर माई सेल्फ.
Youngsters are stressed, they have academic pressure, they have peer pressure, and unknowingly, from the parents' aspect, they also have family and parental pressure. पेरेंट्स देना नहीं चाहते, वो बच्चे ऑलरेडी इतने डिस्टर्ब हैं, बट वो कम्युनिकेशन इतनी वॉर्प्ड हो गई है, इतनी डिस्कनेक्ट्स आ गए हैं उस कम्युनिकेशन में कि अब वो बाहर भी स्ट्रेस्ड हैं, स्कूल में भी स्ट्रेस्ड हैं और बच्चे घर पे भी स्ट्रेस्ड हैं.
तो नमस्ते और वेलकम बैक टू आवर न्यू एपिसोड. इस बार से नए साल से 2026 से हम अपने एपिसोड्स को अब अनसेट फीलिंग्स विद शैंकी ना बोल के अब हम लोग द बैक स्टोरी पॉडकास्ट ही बुलाएंगे, क्योंकि बहुत सारे जनों को कन्फ्यूजन हो रहे थे हमारे एपिसोड्स को यूट्यूब में सर्च करने के लिए. तो वेलकम बैक हमारे द बैक स्टोरी पॉडकास्ट पे. आज की जो हमारी गेस्ट है वो है नवीक्षा, जो कि एक मेंटोर है एंड एक कोच है. हम लोग ने जो आज बातें की है वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा रिलेटेबल आपको लगने वाली है, क्योंकि हम लोग ने इसमें सब एज कैटेगरीज को हम लोग ने इंक्लूड किया हुआ है. कोई 15 साल का होगा, कोई 20 साल का होगा, कोई 25 साल का होगा, कोई 35 ईयर्स का होगा, कोई 50 साल का होगा. इफ़ यू बिलोंग टू एनी ऑफ दीज एजेस, ये एपिसोड आपके लिए. तो हाय नवीक्षा.
Hello, Shanky. What a pleasure to be here in studio with you.
हाउ आर यू डूइंग?
Quite fantastic.
I have to tell you this. You look beautiful. Okay, the sari looks beautiful that you're wearing, and I just get a very good vibe from you. I'm just happy to be here with you.
Well, you, for all your young years, you know all the right things to say to a lady. And I will absolutely, with all my pleasure, accept that. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. So, first of all, I would want to tell the audience why are we here. We are here to talk about things that maybe we have been missing over the years. My podcast, especially when we talk about unsaid feeling with Shanky, and the reason when I started this podcast was about having real conversations, about teaching people about life, teaching people about love, teaching people about money, success, and everything that goes on a daily basis. So with that, I want to start with you because you are back in India after how long?
I was here for a short trip just earlier this year. That was for a family and wedding and leisure and all that. And this has been a family visit, come lots of work, productivity, and some exciting meetings and shoots. So I am quite thrilled.
How are you feeling coming back to India? How does it feel to be back in India?
Rejuvenated, refreshed, and roaring to go.
Yes.
And not missing the cold at all back home.
And with that, how about the food, Naviksha? How do you like the food here in India?
Like in food. I don't want to say I'm in food coma because that implies you're not enjoying things and your senses have given up. My senses are like neck deep, seeped into all the aromas, all the flavors. They're swirling, swimming somewhere in this amazing food land, and I am savoring every tiny bite of it.
Amazing. So with that, let's move into your life, Naviksha, about your experiences, about what you have to teach me, about what you have to teach a lot of listeners watching this episode.
Well, this is just a sharing, and I'm so much a student of life school, just like you and anybody else out there. So how about we exchange experiences?
Absolutely. I think that would be the best. So starting off with the very first question and this has been in my mind, and I wanted to ask you, the very first thing is, you've been in the corporate life for 25 years, Naviksha. Okay. How has that journey been? Because I will tell you about me. I have just worked, say, 3 years in the corporate and I quit that. Okay. So I cannot imagine someone who's been into corporate for 25 years and the kind of experiences they have gained during that period. How it has been for you?
Yeah, so about 23 years for me, but you know what? Tomato, tomato, all the same. And I would say it has been exhilarating, rich, learning, adventurous, challenging, all of it bundled together. And while I was in my professional trajectory, giving my best, taking on that workload stress, burnout, the drama, the politics, everything that comes along with the professional world, right? I had a personal life as well where I was privileged and fortunate to follow my passion pathway of breathwork, mindfulness, personal development, and do that along the way, hands on, and interact with so many people, exchange life lessons. So, because I guess I was on this dual journey, my soulful and mindful aspect of my life helped me cope with the burnout in the professional world much better. But definitely, I think it upskilled me at so many levels: problem solving, communication, dealing with diverse cultures, leading diverse teams internationally, being diplomatic yet responsible. So, definitely, it was a learning experience. I enjoyed it, and I also paid my taxes and toll along the way.
Amazing, amazing. So when we talk about these last 23 years, definitely we grow with time, Naviksha. But I want to understand who was Naviksha 23 years back and who is Naviksha after 23 years, after gaining all the experiences in the world.
Deep down, she's still the same. Deep down, she is still that shy, timid girl, very unsure of herself, always seeking support. I guess more than validation, I just needed reassurance. I needed someone to let me know that they got me. So, somewhere, I guess I still have that smattering of her within me. But over the years, there's another Naviksha that has developed who is quite badass, who's quite like, as you say it in Bombay, bindas, care a heck, care a damn. So I've dropped a lot of that mental baggage and I have developed something. A friend of mine once told me that in your closet, regardless of what brand labels you have or not, make sure you have one item, and which is thick skin. Whether
Yeah.
you wear something fancy or not, make sure that you have thick skin. That means moti chamdi. किसी ने कुछ कहा, किसी ने कुछ negative बोला, किसी ने. You don't have to react to all of it and don't have to internalize all of it. So over the years, I think my skin has also thickened in a good way. So I've become much more worldly. I've become much more bindas. But deep down, you are always who you are. So I can see that side of me as well.
It is so good to hear this from you, Naviksha, because shall I call myself a Gen Z or a millennial? I do not know. But keeping everything in mind and how you respond to things like the way you mentioned, okay, whatever it is, I've just enjoyed my life. I've been here with good life experiences, but I don't see that in people nowadays. I don't know if people are really happy, if they are pretending to be happy. I don't know. It's just that I just feel that everyone here, I see my friends, people around me are just lost. And why do you think that change has come in?
So let me ask you this question. In your spare time or in their spare time, what do young people do? They're either working or what else are they doing?
I think phone.
Spending time with social media.
Yes.
Yes? So, Shanky, let's imagine your house looks messy and dirty and your dishes are not done and you have dirty socks just strewn somewhere because you were too tired to tidy up. Are you going to take those pictures and put them in your stories and social media?
I
Will
don't
you do
think
that?
I will
And
not.
even if you do it once just to show your friends this messy, crazy side of your life, even if you did it once for laughs, would you repeatedly showcase the
I will not show the bad side
messy
of it.
side? You would not, right? What would you put on your social
I will
media?
only put the good things, the good looking things.
The
That's all.
glitzy, the glamorous, the fun side, right? The cool, the hip. But is your life like that 100% of the times?
Not at all.
What fraction would you say?
I think less than 50%.
What fraction of our lives, anybody out there, is Instagrammable? What percent?
Hardly.
A small, tiny percent. If we are putting, even when we click pictures, right, we take selfies, we'll take 50, but share only 3. The other 47 are discarded because they're not fit for public consumption. So, the point I'm making here is that for all these young people who have completely, their sensibilities and minds have been inundated by social media, oohing and eyeing over all the fancy stuff others are showcasing, please, it's curated media. That's not what anybody's life looks like. And what do? We internalize those standards and we set ourselves this realistic, unrealistic bar that vacation करनी है तो अरे यार ऐसी करनी है. वो तो फुकेट गए हैं तो मैं कैसे यहाँ लोनावला ये क्या बात हुई. या उसने तो ऐसे कभी ड्रेस रिपीट नहीं की. अरे उसने जब रिपीट की ना उसने पोस्ट नहीं की. So we have just become so embroiled and so sucked up into keeping up that somewhere it is keeping us down in our enthusiasm, in our joy, in our just experience of life.
And where do you think this has started from? Like, where did it just came in from?
I'll tell you what. So I'm showing my age, but hey, I'm very proud of my age, so no qualms about that. I've seen this transition. So thank goodness when I was growing up in my teens and my 20s, there was no social media. I mean, we were barely coming into those flip phones and then the Blackberries and all that. But उस टाइम पे नहीं ना, thank goodness ना phones थे ना ये इतना digital audit trail जो होती है ना एक एक चीज़ को snap करो and those trails or streaks or God knows what kids do now. So the more we started disconnecting from people and just immersing into social connection, lack of personal connection, and heightened obsessive social media connection, that's when this trend started. Because जब हम मिलते हैं तो हम थोड़ी बोलते हैं कि अरे मैंने ये किया वो किया. We talk about और क्या चल रहा है और कैसे हो और क्या खाया या what classes or you know whatever regular stuff. But when we are showcasing in our stories or in our feeds, we are trying to share the latest news, breaking news of our life, all the high points. तो बस हम वो connection and communication से हट के we have just become now prone to absorbing highlights from people's life, and everybody wants to outdo the other's highlight.
I think that is.
So I feel that's how this whole thing has come in.
What you mentioned is so true, Naviksha. I think I would just give you an example of my younger brother. Okay, because I get it, he's just 20 right now and he's still trying to figure out things in life. But I see his lifestyle, and most of the times he wants to buy a new pair of shoes, new pair of Jordans just because his friend has it. I think maybe he do not want it. He just want it because his friends have it in the community. And I think that has changed a lot of mindset over the young generation, and I see it in my own family. But when I have to ask this question to people like you who've gone through the whole journey of this, how do you stop this? How do you balance your social life and your personal life?
Yeah, I think this is a great aspect, and let's unpack it a little bit. So the way I look at things is that if you want to reduce something na, to you create a vacuum. Like if I want to stop going out so much, then what do I need to do something else in substitute of that? Otherwise, I'll just have extra time and I won't know what to do with that time, and I'll get depressed and I'll pick up some other unhealthy habits, or I'll start going out even more. Withdrawal hoga, right? And then on rebound. So in order to start consuming, let's look at it this way. Let's start consuming social media in a more productive manner. So
and what is that?
My strategy for that is that instead of constantly focusing on highs, on experiences, on objects, on tags and labels, let's discuss ideas. Let's discuss strategies for happiness, for productivity. How do we become better at something? How do we become healthier at something? And not how to get something that's flashier and fancier.
So, when you talk about all of these things, Navisha, was it hard to reach this state of mind? Like exactly where you are right now?
Yeah.
Okay, just content with life and everything that you have around. How difficult was it to reach it?
I have had quite a journey and I have picked up my wounds and scars along the way. So part of it definitely comes with maturity and the process of life. But I think अब इतनी wisdom है ना, social media, thanks to social media, there is so much emotional EQ knowledge information available. There are so many podcasts on mindset and motivation and conditioning your mind. Now, looking at my 30s, maybe it was out there, but we were not consuming that. My generation, and I'm almost 50, so when I look back at my 30s, yes, we had the Facebooks and all that, but उसपे हम सिर्फ vacations and family pictures and वो सब share करते थे, right? We didn't know how to leverage social media for the productivity, for all the good that it has to offer. So I went through my burnout of trying to keep up with all the Janes in the group, trying to be accepted and invited into every circle, because if I wasn't, then you feel left out, right? तो वो सारे प्रेशर्स एंड सबको पीपल प्लीज़ करना एंड उसकी साड़ी मेरे साड़ी से कैसे ज़्यादा सफ़ेद या उसके फ्रेंड्स मेरे फ्रेंड से कैसे ज़्यादा हैपनिंग, went through all of that and come my early 40s, you know how that made me feel? Burnt out, unsatisfied, unfulfilled, unhappy. And without recognizing what it was, at least I became aware of my feelings. तो जब आप खुद से कनेक्ट करते हो, जब आप खुद से ये recognize करते हो, accept करते हो कि I'm not happy, something has to change. And then you start asking yourself, why am I not happy? What's bringing me down? What's not working out? And then in that journey of self-exploration, you start implementing tiny changes. And there's a lot of trial and error and figuring it out. So I've had my journey too.
But that is great, Navisha. I think at your age, you learned all of these things by yourself. Was there someone to teach you all of these things?
I have had a spiritual mentor in my spiritual practices. So that sort of gave me a good foundation. But ये सब, you know, खुद को ही गिरना, उठना, लुढ़कना, ये सब खुद को ही करना पड़ता है. Yeah.
So, but the good part about younger generation right now is people like you are here to guide these younger generation. So just if you can quickly give us 3 points to live a better life. Like when I say life does not mean how fancy you look, how like you, if you're traveling in a fancy car, you have a fancy shoes. I'm talking about living a real good life. If you can just give us 3 points to all the young generation out there to live a better life, what would that be?
So all the young people out there, I'm sure you have a plan for the weekend. You have a plan for your week. Do you have a plan for your life? So ask yourself these bigger questions. We plan out all the small details कि dinner में क्या, menu में क्या, movie में क्या, weekend trip में क्या. Hey, life में क्या? What about my life? So ask yourself what is your vision and what is your game plan for your life. Have a vision. That's the first point. Second point is, who are the people in your life? And my husband constantly says it to my kids, and it could not be truer, that we are the sum total of the 5 people we keep company with most. So हमारे जो 5 friends हैं जिनके साथ हम सबसे ज़्यादा time spend करते हैं ना, knowingly, unknowingly, wantingly, unwantingly, we start becoming like that. So audit and take a closer look at who is this inner circle, and are they the right, you know, circle for you? Are they bringing the right set of influences? इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि तुम लोगों को cut करो, but be mindful, where are you bonding the closest, okay? So audit your circle. And number 3, are you taking care of yourself? Are you connected with your own self? We have appointments and meetings and dates with, you know, anybody and everybody. But are you having a date with your own self, as in just checking in that, how am I doing? हाउ इज़ माई माइंड, हाउ इज़ माई एनर्जी, हाउ इज़ माई एंथुजियाज़म. एंड उसी में बहुत हीलिंग होती है एंड उसी में बहुत चीज़ें सरफेस होके आती हैं. एंड देन वंस यू नो व्हाट्स पुलिंग यू डाउन, यू कैन स्टार्ट एड्रेसिंग इट. सो माई 3 tips for all the young people out there is that have a game plan for your life, take a close look at your innermost circle, and kabhi kabhi check in with yourself too.
Amazing. So I want to extend the third part that you mentioned about people knowing about self-love. Okay, I want to talk about self-love. First of all, tell us what is self-love, Naviksha, because I think a lot of people do not understand, and I think they are going into a wrong direction when they talk about self-love. For people nowadays, self-love means बाहर जाके पार्टी करना है, दारू पीना है, स्मोक करना है, फ्रेंड्स के साथ चिल करना है. I think people have started taking those signs as self-love. But if you can just quickly guide us to the right path, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, I love that, and that is such a common popular mindset. So, like you described there, Shanky, what self-love is not, it's not self-destruction. And neither is self-love something completely exquisite and unrealistically pricey. So, it's not just ki expensive outfits, fancy spa treatments, that is not, it can be in moderation. It can be, but that's not the premise of it. So the way I look at self-love is to get in touch with yourself, respect yourself, and take care of yourself before it's too late. Self-love is preservation. It's self-preservation. सो जब बीमार हो जाते हैं मेंटली या फिजिकली, उसके बाद हम डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं. सेल्फ लव वो रेजीम है where I'm already nurturing my mind and my soul and taking care of my body and adopting healthy habits and good lifestyle and diet and all that, so that I can do not have to reach that crashing bottom.
That is what you mentioned, Naviksha. With that, I have an add-on point to this, that when we talk about self-love, a lot of people these days, because I heard one of my friends just coming up and I randomly asked him, like, you are quitting your job and what is the reason behind it? It's like, I just want to give more time to myself, and I think this is just an act of self-love for me. So do you think a lot of people are also quitting job because there's a trend in the market? अच्छा, जॉब क्विट करेंगे तो हम लोग थोड़े अच्छे लगेंगे कि चलो जॉब क्विट करके हम लोग ने अपना काम स्टार्ट किया है एंड ये ट्रेंड है बिकॉज एवरी वन इज़ डूइंग इट, और मेरे को भी फ्रीलांसर बनना है एंड मेरे को भी ये करना है. आई डोंट थिंक सो. पीपल आर टेकिंग द राइट स्टेप विद द राइट माइंड सेट. दे आर जस्ट टेकिंग दैट स्टेप बिकॉज देयर इज अ ट्रेंड इन द मार्केट एंड दे थिंक दैट ओके, ये दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ सेल्फ लव फॉर माई सेल्फ.
That's so hilarious. Now imagine if LA is the most popular destination and everybody is buying tickets to go to LA, ठीक है? But let's just say that my home is in London or my home is in Honolulu. तो मैं LA जाके मैं क्या करूँगी? I do not need a ticket to LA, I need a ticket to Honolulu. So just because, like you said there, everybody is doing something and there's a trend, please don't blindly jump into that trend. Do not be a mindless trend setter, but set the right trend for your own life.
What is the kind of trend that you have seen recently, like which has made you feel like okay, ये क्यों, मतलब
Yeah.
why, what is the need for this?
I work with all age groups. So I work with professionals and corporates who are senior and seasoned, and I do a lot of work with the youth as well. So in that more seasoned generation, I think they are unsatisfied and they are burnt out. So most of them are not happy with where they are or how they're being treated in their current position or workplace, etc. So they are looking to upskill themselves and, develop more executive skills, etc. to progress their career. So they are somewhere unsatisfied, or they are so burnt out with that corporate 9 to 5 lifestyle, and which is never 9 to 5, by the way.
It is.
It's never 40 hours a week, right?
Yes,
We all know
yes,
that.
yes.
So they are looking at a side gig. They're looking at becoming their own boss. Boss se itne fed up hai. They're like, don't need a boss. Let me just be my own boss. So they are looking to become solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, right? That's the trend I notice in that professional footprint. And youngsters they are stressed. They have academic pressure. They have peer pressure. And unknowingly, from the parents' aspect, they also have family and parental pressure. पेरेंट्स देना नहीं चाहते, वो बच्चे ऑलरेडी इतने डिस्टर्ब्ड हैं, बट वो कम्युनिकेशन इतनी वॉर्प्ड हो गई है, इतनी डिस्कनेक्ट्स आ गए हैं उस कम्युनिकेशन में कि अब वो बाहर भी स्ट्रेस्ड हैं, स्कूल में भी स्ट्रेस्ड हैं और बच्चे घर पे भी स्ट्रेस्ड हैं.
तो नमीक्षा, आपके समय पे व्हेन यू आर अ किड, व्हेन यू आर अ यंगस्टर, ये सब स्ट्रेस जो आज के दिन पे उस समय थे?
I don't know when. I think when in my early 20s, I did my self-development and breathwork workshop. That's when I actually noticed the word stress. When they told me that, this is about stress management, that's when I connected with the word stress. During my schooling years and my academic years, stress used to mean कि इस word पे stress डाला, किसी चीज़ को emphasize करना. That's how I looked at the word stress. Emphasis. That don't stress on this, But stress actually means, oh my God, weight, drained out, depressed. ये सब तो मुझे बहुत बाद पता चला.
But ये इतना बढ़ क्यों रहा है? Like, why is it happening? You can see the amount of stress youngsters have, like, everywhere. And why is it happening so much?
I guess because we are, that the whole system of communication and interpersonal connectivity, be it the most basic system of our family or the extended family or neighbors, right? We have all become so disconnected. तो दिल की बात कहें भी तो किसको कहें? Status लगा दो, right? So we have stopped being a support system for each other. And communication and relationship is all about, it's that personal and it's that interpersonal and mutual exchange. You give support and you get a lot of strength back in return as well. But उसके लिए आपको किसी के साथ connect करना पड़ेगा ना. अब connection ही नहीं है. So I feel that a very major root cause of this stressed out trend or epidemic out there in society is lack of this personal connection, spending time together, being there for one another. I think it stems from that.
And where do you think the maximum stress is coming from? Is it from the family side? It is because of the work, or is it because of the academics? Where is it coming from?
I don't think it's coming from the family initially. Initially, because we are trying to just shrug off our family कि family तो cool नहीं है, family के साथ time spend करना भी कोई cool नहीं है, let me hang out, let me do. और जितना हम बाहर seek कर रहे हैं ना, everybody is constantly seeking that next high, that next dopamine kick. So you're getting a kick and kick के बाद high के बाद क्या होता है? Hangover होता है ना, which is a crash. So इतने हम peak experiences outside, we are craving, we are chasing, and we are stuck in that spiral. So then when we come back to the family, we are already so depleted, we are already so burnt out and frustrated that we have neither interest nor energy to connect with the family. So I don't think कि family की वजह से stress आ रहा है, but अगर family के साथ या आप जिसको family बोलना चाहते हैं, आपके closest friends, जो भी आपका support system है, right? If you have that support system going for you and you spend healthy time with them, right? Then these external factors will not interfere or not affect you as drastically. So I feel family की वजह से नहीं आ रहा, but हम family के साथ उतना time नहीं spend करते हैं, उस वजह से आ रहा है.
And family के side, so I think that's a very good point, Naviksha, and I want to also let people know how can you solve this problem. And I'll tell you the problem right now. हमारे youngsters में ज़्यादातर problem आज के दिन बहुत बड़ा problem है ये कि we are not able to talk to our family. हम लोग expect करते हैं कि our parents they come to us and talk to us. Maybe हमारे parents भी same expect करते हैं कि हमारे बच्चे आके हमसे बात करें. So there is a big gap in between. And trust me, 99% of youngsters are facing this. We are maybe not we are maybe not very well connected to our family emotionally. मतलब रहना, साथ में रहना, घर पे रहना, एक रूम में रहना, that is still happening. But somewhere the emotional connect is not there with the family. How do you solve that?
I experienced this and witnessed this firsthand with so many of my clients, the teenagers and the youth that I work with. And it just breaks my heart as well, where I have a parent telling me that, I went on a weekend trip with my buddies and we clicked so many pictures and they were sending to their family. And my children didn't even ask me once that, hey, dad, where are you? What are you doing? And I sent them a picture, one or two, but there was no response, there was no reciprocation. So I had nobody to share my experience with, right? So again, if we peel that back, what I'd like to say to all the parents is that your job is not just to be the provider or the caretaker or the disciplinarian. कि बच्चों को वैल्यू सिखाई, बच्चों को रिजीम डिसिप्लिन सिखाया, बच्चों की हेल्थ का केयर रखा, उनकी स्केड्यूल एक्टिविटीज़ खाना पीना. सो यू आर नॉट जस्ट द केयर टेकर और द डिसिप्लिनेरियन, you are also their confidant and friend. And that is a relationship that has to be built. So allow your kids to feel safe with you. Allow them to make some mistakes and let those mistakes slide, let it go. Har baar, it's not necessary to say, I told you so. Every time, it's not necessary to reprimand. Sometimes just give them a hug and say, okay, buddy, not next time. Or okay, buddy, next time do better.
I feel so good, Naviksha. Trust me, I feel so good talking to you about all of these things. I'm getting goosebumps right now because I can connect with what you are trying to say. Because I have not been maybe that connected with my family. I've always studied in a boarding school. Throughout my life, I've been away from my family, been visiting them regularly, but there has not been that kind of a connection. Okay. I have worked in a lot to make that work out, like in the family, okay, with my mom. Like we sit together and we start talking about certain things, and she's very happy to talk about certain things, about my relationships, about my love life, about what work I'm doing. I think a lot of like children are not able to get that in their family, and I'm so happy that I'm working on it. So with that, if you can also give 3 points to all those children out there who are listening to this episode and they want to get closer to their family, what would those 3 points be?
We go around in the world. I think our day starts with this. The moment we exit our house, we start meeting people. And what is it that we say to them? When you meet somebody randomly in the elevator, what do you say after good morning? What do you say?
Like, how are you doing?
How are you? Right? So start sincerely checking in with your parents as well. Kabhi find that sincere spot and connect with your parents and ask them genuinely as well. How are you, mom? Dad? What's going on with you? How are you? How's work? How's life? Do you have, what are you stressed about? You want to talk? Come, let's sit, let's chat. So genuinely ask your parents time to time how they are doing, what's bothering them, or what are they excited about? What's new? Is there a new hobby, new friend, new project? So check in with your parents. Number 2, it's a reciprocal relationship. So as kids, we are not just here to take, whether it's economic advantage or physical comforts or even love and care. We need to return as well, because it's not transactional. It's not ki give and take. It's not that way. It's just that आपको किसी ने thank you बोला, तो आप welcome बोलते हो ना. That's how relationships work. Both sides need to contribute. So start contributing to this relationship and start giving back to your parents as well. And number 3, I'll tell you, it is counterintuitive yet so intuitive. Just take care of your life and live the best life for yourself. There's nothing more your parents want. Don't destroy yourself.
Don't blow up all your resources. Don't hang out with those loser friends all the time. Just lead a good life for yourself. Your parents are already on cloud nine.
Wow, I think those are the best 3 points these children can take away after they watch this episode or they watch this particular section. What you teach us, Namiksha, I think I can feel what you are saying. I can understand what you are saying because you have had all these experiences over your lifetime.
I'm old, I'm telling you. Well, I'm old soul.
But I think that, yeah, you've had all these experiences over your lifetime, and I'm so happy and I feel so grateful right now to have been talking to you like this, because not everyone will have or will ever find a mentor like you. I think you are a beautiful mentor, Naviksha. I think just in like 1 hour right now, and we've been talking for the last 3-4 months. It's amazing. You are an amazing soul, Naviksha. You are an amazing soul.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I feel very blessed and I feel so fortunate to nature that, we all say, what's the purpose of my life? What's the purpose of my life? And I feel the purpose of my life is to connect with one life at a time, one person at a time, and help them along in their journey, maybe a tiny bit, and then just get all my satisfaction and joy in seeing them blossom and grow.
Amazing, amazing. I think I would not forget this time for the rest of my life.
You're so kind.
With that, Naviksha, I want to also talk about something that my followers and people around me, they love talking about, especially my generation, I would say, love.
Of course. We all love.
So, first of all, I want to ask you, Naviksha, what is love to you in your head? When you think about love, what do you mean by love?
Love is a lot like self-love. So it's not necessarily about all the roses and all the sweet and, sweet nothings. It can be, but it's not entirely about that. So I feel love is when two people truly care for each other in the sense that you really are invested in what is better for this person. So pure intentions and then thoughtful actions. Let's just keep it very simple. Having good intentions for that person and also demonstrating that in your actions. भाई मेरे intentions तो बहुत अच्छी हैं, but बात मैं ऐसे ही करता हूँ या ऐसे ही करती हूँ, doesn't add up. So make that math work.
Amazing. Amazing. I think that was the best line to tell people how you should start treating your partners right now. So with this, when we talk about love, Naviksha, and people, they've been in love, and maybe some people are really in love. Some relationships where they pretend to be in love. Okay, some relationships where, because there is no other option in the world, I have to love. Okay, just give you an example of few of the people who follow me, and I keep putting up stories, and I get the most of the responses are, I am in a toxic relationship. Like, I want to get out of it, but I'm not able to get out of my toxic relationship. So most of the people are stuck in that kind of a relationship where it's toxic, but they do not know what to do next. They do not know if they need to move out of it or they still need to stay in that. What do you have to tell to them?
People who are in a toxic relationship, what they need to do about it. So inevitably, someone who's stuck in a garbage, in a toxic relationship, they're just living on faith. And in this, pardon me, but they're stuck in this fool's paradise, hoping, praying, expecting that somehow a miracle will happen. And tomorrow, this person will completely have a change of heart, right? I'm so sorry to burst your bubble. But if you've gone through the same cycle of unrepair and despair at least 3 times, किसी को 3 chances दो, not more than 3. अगर 3 बार उन्होंने आपको they treated you like dirt and made you feel like shit and come back with roses and hugs, and if that again happens for the 4th time, please pack your bags and move out and run for your life as soon as you can. So, toxic people are narcissists. And I didn't know for the longest time what a narcissist is. My friends would tell me that, he's a narcissist or she's a narcissist. And I thought, okay, somebody who just is very obsessed with themselves.
Yes.
But there are other traits as well. A narcissist always has a need to feel right. So if they get upset or if they are mad or if they have a bout of violence, it's somehow your fault. Because you didn't cook my eggs a certain way, I've explained it to you 10,000 times, yet you failed at doing that. So poor me had to resort to this anger and temper tantrum. That's a classic narcissist. Where if they yell at you and you feel upset and you cry, or if you can't just jump out of it and be bubbly the next minute, then you having this emotional decline is your fault. Snap out of it. अरे switch on off हो गया, on कर लो, इसमें क्या है? So somebody who has just this undeniable need to be right all the time will not change for you. So what I would say to these people is give them a couple of chances. Couple का मतलब क्या होता है? 2. Go for it. Give them a 3rd chance. उसके बाद नहीं हुआ. So instead of spending the next 30 years of your life trapped here, please pack your bags and run for your life.
That is a very wise advice. I think most of the people have been stuck in this kind of a situationship or relationship, you may call that, and they are not able to come out of it. And I'm not just talking about people who are not married. I'm also talking about a lot of people who are even married and still stuck there. Okay. Now coming to the good part of it, Namiksha. Okay. Say if there are 2 people and they are in love, but they are not very much emotionally connected to each other, what can they do to get completely into each other and understand each other much better? What are the exercises you can tell us, or maybe few things that they can do to make the relationship more stronger and powerful?
So I think there's a 2-layer approach here. The first is, or one of them is all the feel-good things. The bonding, the couple time, the couple massages, the movie outings, the walks, all of that, right? The coochie cooing, the nice romantic feel-good chemistry equation. And the second, I would say, is the emotional side. So you need to do some emotional work together as a team as well. And the very first pointer, if I may offer, would be to go easy on those judgments. Stop finding so many faults. Stop judging everything. Stop finding so much intention that you did this and you did that and why did you do this, or you are always like this or you're always like that. Go easy on that, please. Give more acceptance and give more compliments.
I think that is amazing, Namiksha. What you mentioned is just amazing. Now, when we talk about these good relationships, when we talk about couples who are happily married together, or happily in a relationship, we also, on the contrary side, on the other side, we talk about heartbreaks. Okay, there is love and then there is heartbreaks. Now, from your point of view, have you ever felt heartbroken? Now, when I say heartbroken, it definitely does not have to be only with relationships. I have been heartbroken a lot of times, maybe once when my dog left the world. I think that was one of the heartbreaks I have had. So what has been your emotional side when we talk about heartbreak?
Romantic heartbreak, I think that happens at least once a month, where what I expect from my husband is not delivered, where what I expect from my husband is not delivered in that exact sense or manner, right? So those heartbreaks they keep coming. I'm on a monthly cycle with those as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but genuinely heartbreak, I think, it comes from either a sad tragedy happening and just going through life for so many years. I think I've been very blessed, but of course there have been incidents and episodes where you had to deal with that rough side of life. So that you cannot avoid. It's just the nature of life. And the other layer then of heartbreak is when, I guess, people you trusted, people you thought had your back, and they let you down in such a sleazy, such a, with so much lack of conscience at all. So I think that is a terrible heartbreak to experience.
And how do you deal with it, Navisha?
I hurt. I take a few steps back. I go through this cycle of reviewing and rewinding all of it again and again and replaying that drama in my mind. But that, over the years, what's happened is, pehle, if I would spend 2 months in that zone, then the 2 months became 2 weeks. And now maybe 2, 3, 4 days or even a week, but not constantly. So the intensity of this pain and this, carrying this garbage, that intensity and the frequency have both declined for me. But somewhere we are humans. I'm human too. At least I am human. Maybe we have some folks out there levitating or whatever. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये हार्ट ब्रेक होगा, आपको गुस्सा आएगा, आपको सेल्फ डाउट आएगा, you will replay all that drama again and again. But you go to a movie, you watch the movie and then you walk out, right? So let's not stay stuck and trapped in that mental drama also. थोड़ा बहुत देख लो, entertain कर लो, फिर उसको it's done. That episode is over. And now let's move on and discover new episodes, new chapters, new friends, new experiences.
I think the way you say it, Navisha, it looks very easy because the way you are saying it and the experiences, again, what you have had, okay, and people don't understand this part. I think is it also the matter of the time, because you've lived your life all this while, and someone who is just 18 right now going through a heartbreak, they think, okay, yahi last hai, yahi sab kuch hai. I don't think so. I don't even want to live after this heartbreak. People start thinking in that way. But what you just mentioned, I feel that it is about time. I think with time, you will feel better, you will heal, and you will just become a better version of yourself, just given time.
We have to learn how to hit pause. Our lifestyle and just the whole trend has become so fast tracked that we feel we have to chase experiences and we have to move from one experience to another, right? So, thoda sa na detox bhi karna zaruri hai. You've had a relationship, you had that heartbreak. Give yourself some time to enjoy that heartbreak, come over that heartbreak, laugh over that heartbreak.
And then,
share jokes with your friends and say, oh my God, how crazy was I? What nonsense was I doing there? So give your time, and you don't have to rush into that next relationship. Have the confidence that too will happen.
that is exactly not happening, Navisha, right now. People are just moving into a next relationship just after their previous heartbreak. Maybe they are not even healed from their last heartbreak, and they are just looking for new partners out there. Like, why are people rushing so much?
I think because they feel this misnomer or misconception is that happiness and joyfulness exists somewhere else. And let me share an example that my spiritual mentor had used or uses even now. That supposing, Shanky, mango ice cream makes you very happy. And you think that the more mango ice cream I eat, the happier I become. All right? And I invite you for tea one day. And I offer you 2 scoops of mango ice cream. Are you happy?
Yes.
Yes? And then my lovely husband comes and force feeds you 2 more scoops. Will you have those two?
Yes, I'm happy.
You're happy for?
Yes.
Then my kids come and they say, oh, we wanted two, but we don't want to eat alone. Come, Shanky, two more. Will you do it?
It will start going down.
Huh? And then my mom pops in from somewhere and she says, oh, beta, come, two more. Tum to bade duble ho gaye ho, two more, right? And now you have to. What are you going to do? You'll be sick of
I
mango
will be
ice
sick
cream.
of it. Absolutely.
You're going to drop it for the rest of your life, or at least in that moment, you're going to say that to yourself,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So, वही बात है, we think that happiness exists in a relationship. It does not.
What a beautiful example. What a beautiful example, Naviksha.
So, the moment you understand it, relationships can bring you joy, and certainly they will bring you joy. But remove that condition that my joy only comes from that relationship. That's the problem. It can come. My joy can come from mango ice cream. But joy does not only come to me from mango ice cream.
With that, Naviksha, you have had a lot of clients. Okay, you have clients on a very regular basis. Now, I want to understand the most of the clients that come to you, Naviksha. Like when we talk about love and heartbreaks in this particular sector, what do they come up with? Like, do they have like fights in the house? Like, what is happening between these couples on a very regular basis?
So there's the lack of marital harmony. Some of my clients are just dealing with bad marriages, toxic marriages, or marriages that have grown apart over the years. I have a lot of clients who are now ready to take their life to that next level and to overcome their inner inhibitions and their barriers and find their true purpose or that new hobby or that new joy and live life more fully. So I have people who just want to blossom more in their life. And then I work a lot with executives and professionals as well who want to grow more experienced and seasoned and climb higher in that professional realm.
So, Naviksha, with this, a very important question that comes to my mind, and I'm sure you would be very much aware of it as well. Like people in our generation, and not just our generation, let's take someone who is just in 7th standard or 8th standard, maybe they are, 12 or 14 years old, and till 30 or 35 years old, all of us in this bucket, we are going through a lot of mental issues. When I say mental issues, maybe we are not able to express properly, or our mental state is so bad that we do not know what to do. Okay, I'm asking you this because you've been mentoring a lot of youngsters, say starting 17, 18 and going up to 35, 40, 50. So you have already mentored so many people. For people like us, we do not have a mentor. We do not have someone who can literally sit with us and guide us about, because I think everyone goes through these things in their life, but there should be someone to just tell you certain things. Okay, ये बेटा ऐसे नहीं, ये ऐसे कर लोगे. And I think that one suggestion or one change can change a lot in us. So the very first thing I want to ask is, why is the state of mind of everyone in today's generation so bad?
Because we are taught so much information in our schools and colleges, but how to be happy, how to take care of your stress, how to have more positive relationships, right? Everything, all these factors that affect our mental health, we are imparted no pointers, no education, no grooming at all, and we are left to figure it out on our own. So we are stressed because पहले जब joint family systems थे, there were community support systems, right? We were getting that positive support. Now all these layers have just fallen off and we are left to our own resources, basic minimal structures बोल रही हूँ, which is school and family, minimal structures. बाकी add-ons हैं. Friends are add-on. They are not a formal structure and they can keep changing week to week as well, right now. So we have very little foundation that equips us to just have a better relationship with others or with ourselves. And we're not taught these tools and strategies, how to manage your own stress, how to manage your own anxiety.
I think none of the schools or none of the educational institutions are also teaching this, Naviksha. I think personally there's a big gap.
It's an immense gap. And some schools internationally, different parts of the world, I'm sure, and I'll share from my experience as well. And I compliment these institutions who have understood that despite imparting so much science and math and language knowledge, they are not equipping their kids with life skills. Think of mental health as a life skill, है ना? So I designed and I was invited to design and then facilitate a program for emotional wellness and leadership development for high schoolers in a school that's part of the Philadelphia School District. So very prestigious opportunity. I feel so grateful and an extremely successful pilot as well. So when they came to me, their use case was that these kids come from the lesser served population and with just many chaotic situations at home, and they do not have that proper guidance in their life outside of school, and they're not ready, they don't have positive role models so that they can take on life and move on from school to college and future chapters. So how do we give this generation some strategies, some foundation and techniques so that they can thrive after school?
Right.
And I feel so thrilled and excited and lucky that I could come up with a curriculum that addresses these areas.
And can you just quickly also make us go through that curriculum that you're talking about and what
Yes.
exactly happens in that curriculum?
I will share the 4 important pillars.
Yes.
There's a lot more detail that is there, but I will share at a high level 4 pillars. The first pillar is your own emotional resilience and emotional health. तो हम सोचते हैं कि इमोशंस आर ओनली हैप्पी एंड सैड, एक्साइटेड एंड अपसेट. इसके बीच में भी देर आर सो मैनी इमोशंस एंड इमोशंस आर लाइक एनर्जी, एंड वी नो एनर्जी इज नॉट क्रिएटेड और डिस्ट्रॉयड, एनर्जी हैज़ टू बी transformed. So emotions from happiness to sadness, you can transform that energy, and the more you learn how to navigate that, then the lesser we have all these peak and opposite ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. So emotional awareness and emotional navigation is that first module or first pillar. The second pillar is detoxification, detoxifying. और इसका मतलब सिर्फ डाइट से नहीं है जो हमें इंस्टाग्राम एंड सब रील्स दे के 3-day डिटॉक्स क्लेंस. इट्स एन ऑल अराउंड डिटॉक्स. So it literally starts with your physical environment as well. That, hey kid, do you need that dirty laundry there? Do you need those stacks of papers and the snacks you ate and all the wrappers are sitting here? So first clean up your physical space. Now start cleaning up your social media and all the tabs that you have open. Do you need all those apps? Do you need all those tabs? They think about it because अभी तक तो सोचा ही नहीं ना है, तो डैब 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 किया. अभी सोचो, what do you need? What are you enjoying? What do you don't? Take an opportunity. Throw that out. So digital detox. Then we do dietary detox. Ki soda and pizza is not bad, but do you have to survive on soda and pizza? No. I like carrots too. I like broccoli too. Or I like soup too. Or I like, something else too. So enjoy those too. So do a rethink and clean up your diet the best you can. And ये सब करते करते the beauty is इतना जब cleansing की ना, mental detox अपने आप होने लगता है. उसको करना नहीं पड़ता, वो अपने आप emotional baggage, emotions, drama, it starts to sort out. So that's the second pillar. The third pillar is project planning, milestone planning, executive functioning. टेस्ट्स के लिए कैसे प्रिपेयर करना है, उसको कैसे हमें अपने टास्क को सीक्वेंस में थिंक थ्रू करके फिर मैप आउट करके, एंड हाउ डू आई बिल्ड एंड हाउ डू आई स्टिक टू टाइम लाइन्स. एम आई ऑलवेज इन अ रश? एम आई ऑलवेज फायर फाइटिंग? हाउ डू आई डू थिंग्स मोर कंसिस्टेंटली? सो टाइम मैनेजमेंट एंड एग्जीक्यूटिव फंक्शनिंग इज द थर्ड पिलर. And the fourth pillar, which is the most special to me personally, is community building, volunteering, teamwork, giving back projects for the community, finding a mentor in your life, and then becoming a mentor to someone else as well.
Wow. I think you have had a mentor, Naviksha. You just mentioned during the start of the episode. And I see a difference. I definitely do not know you, how you were like 2 years back, 10 years back, 20 years back. But when I see this Naviksha, I feel it. And I think that is the importance of having a mentor in your life as well.
Yes, I feel so fortunate. I've had some amazing mentors. My spiritual mentor and my biggest and constant mentor in my life happened to me in my very early 20s. And literally, my life is a before and after, thanks to this guru, this mentor. And then in my professional and personal life as well, anybody who's helped me drop something heavy and to come up into a lighter and a healthier version of myself has been a mentor. I've had professional mentors. There was a time where I was considering कि मुझे कोई diploma करना है, and she sat me down. She was several levels high up and responsible for my entire department. And she mentor का job ये नहीं होता आपको बताना कि you need this is your problem. That's a mentor is a thought partner. So they help you, they ask you those questions, and they work with you in such a manner that you realize what's good for you, right? So then I realized that what I really needed was a master's degree in information technology.
Right.
So instead of going for a diploma course or a certificate, I signed up for my master's. And when I look back, oh my gosh, so amazing. When I was still young and I could still do it, I added that on my resume and my credibility. So I am very fortunate to have had some amazing
That is
mentors.
amazing. And also, I also want to ask you this: that at what age group is right to have a mentor?
Any age group. And I think everyone, so when you talk about a professional mentor, I think teenagers, especially with all the stress and the performance pressure and the school application pressure, I think 16, 15, 16 is a good age for parents to seek a good mentor for their kids. Before that stress of college and application and SATs or whatever boards, etc., starts piling up. So I think they should have a mentor. Young professionals should also have a mentor, because हमें resume लिखना तो सिखा देते हैं. But then how to go and interact with your teams, how to build those relationships, how to find allies, how to progress in your career,
Right.
how to take more responsibility, have more visibility. मुझे तो किसी ने नहीं सिखाया, and when I look around, they're still not teaching that to young professionals. So people who are entering the workforce, please find yourself a mentor now and expedite your leadership journey, and not find yourself 15 years later just 1 or 2 titles higher and then just feeling so unsatisfied. Find that mentor now who can accelerate that whole journey for yourself. And then, of course, I think by the time you hit 40, 50, 60, we all need somebody who can help us find that new side to ourselves.
That is amazing. That is really amazing. And I think that is the importance of having a mentor you just mentioned. With that, we are almost coming to the end of this beautiful conversation, Aviksha. Okay. I have personally learned a lot. I'm sure a lot of our listeners, a lot of our viewers will be able to take a lot from this episode. And I genuinely mean it when I say a lot from this episode. Okay. With that, before we leave, Naviksha, one message to all those youngsters out there. Okay, when I say youngsters, someone who is 50 also feel young at that age. So I'm talking about someone who's just been born and who is 70, 80 years old. One message about life to them, something that comes from you.
You are never too old, and it's never too late. And do not wait for that new year or that auspicious day or that Mahurat. That moment when you take that first step is that auspicious moment for you. Any day you begin is a good day to begin. So just begin.
Amazing. I think that's the very strong line. That's a very strong line to end this episode with. And thank you so much again, Aviksha, for being here, for lighting up our set. Okay. With this sari, with your conversation, with your smile, with your vibes, with your just the aura that you have around you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for being
Shanky,
here.
and you are bright light yourself. I just can't wait to see you glow and grow in your journey. My best wishes to you. And my utmost thanks for giving me this opportunity to come and connect with your audiences and the amazing conversation that we had here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next episode. तो थैंक यू सो मच ये एपिसोड को पूरा देखने के लिए, एंड आई जेन्युइनली होप यू एंजॉयड दिस एपिसोड एंड यू कुड टेक अ लॉट ऑफ लर्निंग्स अवे फ्रॉम दीज एपिसोड्स. हमारे द बैक स्टोरी पॉडकास्ट को देखते रहिए, हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, हमारे इंस्टाग्राम में जाके हमको फॉलो कीजिए, क्योंकि आपके लिए हम और सुंदर एपिसोड्स आगे लाने वाले. तब तक के लिए नमस्ते.